What's up? How y'all doing? Listening is my superpower. Now, I know some of y'all like, girl, out of all the superpowers you could have selected, I mean, scaling tall buildings, flying high in the sky, going invisible, and you choosing listening. Yes, listening is my superpower. And what I found in doing my life's work is the more I'm able to gather, the more I'm able to give. The moment I turn my mouth down and I turn my ears up, something magical happens. Now, can I be honest? I feel like this is a safe space. It's a safe space, I can be honest. I'm a recovering talkaholic. I was really good at talking and not really good at listening. But in 2017, I was thrust into becoming a better listener when I got fired from my job. Now, nothing will make you perk your ears up more than when them people tell you not to show up to that job no more. Y'all, I will never forget the day. It was August 23rd, 2017. 3 days before I had just turned 35 years old. Happy birthday, Brandy. Welcome to your midlife crisis. I gotta admit, I felt so low. I felt so disappointed in myself. I felt rejected. I felt so much shame. I mean, who gets let go from their family's business on their day off, Craig? Me. It's me. I felt like my life had somehow come off track. I felt totally insignificant. But here's the cheat code to life. I'm giving this to you early, so you might want to take your pen and paper out. The cheat code to life, if you were ever feeling down and you need your spirits lifted, I need you to do one thing. I need you to call a black woman on the phone. Because the moment you call a black woman on the phone, baby, she gonna get you together. Whatever razzle you are missing, a black woman got some dazzle for you. And so, y'all, I called my friend on the phone after I got fired, and she said, Brandy, girl, you were not fired. You were released into your destiny. Now, see, the black people clapping, because black people, we got a way of reframing some stuff, don't we? But here's what my friend did for me. She gave me a deeper story. She gave me a different way of looking at it. She released me into my destiny, but what she really did was she gave me a permission slip to come out of hiding. So what do you do when you want to get something you've never had? You got to be willing to do something you've never done. And so a few months after I got released into my destiny, yeah, see that? I went to a silent meditation retreat in Boone, North Carolina. And y'all, in this mountain, well, something magical happened. For the first time, I had to face myself. I had to become reacquainted with the sound of my own voice, its pitch, its cadence, its power. And when I was on that mountain, well, I got my superpower. Now, each week I activate my superpower when I say, welcome to Vault Empowers Talks, where we don't just scratch the surface, we dive deep into the lives of some of the world's most influential change makers. I'm your host, Brandy Harvey. With no other expectation, no other intention but to dive deep, deep into a new story, deep into listening. One of my most memorable guests has been my super friend, Dr. Sherry Riley. Now, the thing that made her interview so memorable is the fact that Sherry and I have been friends for over 15 years. And in our 15 years of friendship, well, we've shared some laughs, we done shared some tears, we done been on some prayer calls. We have even beat the heat together at the hair salon under the hairdryer. But when Sherry came to film my show, well, something magical happened. I learned about Sherry's success and her failures in her career, the moment she's had to pivot. But she said something when she sat with me that has stuck with me to this day, and I got to give it to y'all. She said, Brandy, along my journey, there have been so many moments that I wasn't humble, I was hiding. Y'all, it was a bar. She said I wasn't humble, I was hiding. And see, it dropped in my spirit because I knew what hiding felt like. In 2017, I was hiding my light. I was hiding my voice. I was hiding my power. And somebody had to come along and usher me out of hiding. In her book, Radical Presence, Mary Rose O'Reilly says that most people are dying in spirit for lack of deep listening. We listen to counter argue, to pigeonhole, to mark, to critique the person seated across from us. In our culture, we listen with only the intent to sell, to persuade, to petition, to seduce, to scheme. She got it. She got it. I knew she would. I knew she was going to get it. Not often are we listening with a warm, unyielding heart of the person seated across from us. But when we begin to listen deeply, well, we not only create a space for radical presence, we also create and foster a space for radical connection. Based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, in order to avoid loneliness, depression, anxiety, well, we need to feel loved and accepted by others. This deep emotional connection, it drives our human behavior. Deep listening, it lets us let go of the programming, the beliefs, the assumptions we have of the other person. And we allow them to reveal who they really are and come out of hiding. Recently, I started practicing deep listening with my 87-year-old grandmother. Now, she looks sweet, I know. But don't get it twisted, she's a firecracker, very opinionated woman. And I gotta admit, our generational gap, we haven't always communicated effectively with one another. You know, there were times when I went plant-based and she argued me down about her fried pork chop and why would anyone want to just eat plants, Brandy? But over the last year, I've been listening deeply to my grandmother. And I've learned her wisdom, I've learned her fears, I've learned her joy. I learned how she met my grandfather and the move she made from Louisville, Kentucky to Cleveland, Ohio with my mother and my uncle. That choice that she made, it not only changed her life, but her children and eventually my own life. I learned about her travels with her friends who are no longer here to make those memories with her. I've learned about bus trips to New York and limousine rides and Caribbean cruises all around Cozumel. The girl was lit, y'all. She was like the original city girl. But I've also learned why she never took pictures while she was pregnant. She said she was so fearful of becoming a mother that she didn't feel the need to document the experience. These moments of deep listening, well, they've not only honored her experience, but they paved the way for her to have radical connection with all three of her granddaughters. Now we have a frequent group FaceTime call, and we have a group chat that has been affectionately dubbed Doris and the Dolls. I have to tell you, I think we can transform our relationships if we just have a willingness to listen deeply to one another. Those moments when we allow them to get the story that's been caught in their throat to come out, well, we allow them to come out of hiding. I believe there are three powerful ways that you can implement deep listening into your life and activate your own superpower. Number one, now I'm a former high school teacher, so this is where you take notes. I saw y'all looking around, but this is the note-taking portion of the program. Number one, in order to activate your superpower of deep listening, well, you got to get quiet. And just like I had to go to the mountains to reclaim my power and my own voice, you have to do the same thing. In a world where it can be very noisy and nosy, sometimes it can be hard to find a moment of silence. But the moment we remove the distractions and take a deep breath and silence the voice, well, we create a space for radical connection to happen. We allow that voice to shine through, and there's a power when that connection happens. Number one, we get quiet. Number two, well, we get curious. That curiosity, it has to spark each and every one of our conversations. When we start asking open-ended questions, we get to spark something with the person we're having conversation with. We afford them the opportunity to share, but not only share deeper. Those moments that I've had with my grandmother, well, they have given me a look into every step that she's made to the journey to the woman that she's become. When I talked to Sherry Riley a few months after our interview, she said, Brandy, I got to tell you. She said, when we did our interview, she said, I got in the car that day, she said, and I said, man, that was different. She said, you know what made it so different, Brandy? She said, because the first time I felt seen and I felt heard. I felt like somebody finally saw the woman I had become on this journey of my life. My job was done. I got curious enough that I ushered Sherry Riley out of hiding. That story that she's never revealed to anybody, well, she said, I gave it to you. Number one, we get quiet. Number two, we get curious. Number three, we get connected. When we start to have deep connections in our conversation, something magical happens. We allow the speaker to know that we respect their perspective, their ideas, their thoughts of who they are and what they bring to the table. But these deep social connections, these emotional conversations, the research shows it's not just good for your soul, it's good for your health. Our mental health is peaked when we have deep, engaging conversations. But the research shows it's not just good for your mental health, it's also good for your body. Deep social connections, well, they boost our immune system, they elongate our lives, they give us a sense and raise our cardiovascular mortality. They allow us to live longer when we dive deeper. So what if deep listening was your pathway to freedom? Freedom in yourself, freedom in your purpose, freedom in your relationships. What if we began to immerse ourselves so deeply in the conversation that we released ourselves into our own destiny and got a one-way ticket out of hiding? Thank you.